Who wants to learn to do this? A composite. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Chris McNish, content creator for Sweet Gap Incorporated, where we provide solutions using content creation to tell your story. Before I go any further, remember to hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you want to be notified when I post more content. I will be using Actions from KCC Photography. Please check out his work. I'll put his information in the description. I've found this beautiful background. The goal is to combine my beautiful young ballerina with the background. That's my daughter. So let's do this. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna open up Photoshop. And as you can see here, I have this beautiful digital background here. First thing I'm gonna do is I am going to duplicate this layer by pressing Command J, just like that. And let's name this copy. Okay. And so now I'm going to bring in Dylan. So I'm going to get her here. And as you can see, I've already cut her out. So I'm going to press V or select the select tool here. And I'm going to drag, go to here and bring her right in just like that. Now, of course, she's too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make her a little smaller by pressing Command T. And I'm going to bring her down. And the rule of thumb here is if she were to pick this branch here, would it look normal if her hands was this much bigger than this branch? So I'm definitely going to make her smaller right there. And then it's like I said, it's a choice by preference, how big you want it. I can do it about this big, but I just want it a little bit smaller to show that she's at a distance. And I'm gonna put her here and maybe a little bit smaller. Put her about right there. I think that will definitely work. Okay, so now if you look in your layers pane, you have Dylan's layer, you have the copy layer, and you have the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the copy layer and I'm going to put it above Dylan's layer like this. And go up. There we go. Just like that. And then I'm just going to make this opaque so I can see where Dylan is. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a mask for the copy layer. And as you can see here, I have a white mask. And so in order to, the mask, what it's going to do is that in order to take out the digital background at the top in the copy layer, you're going to have to make your brush black. So let's pick your brush. Either you can go to your brush or you can press B. It's your brush right there. And you want your opacity to be 100. And you want your flow to be 100 also. Okay. And then right here, if your mask in your layer pane is white, in order to take out the artifacts in the copied layer, you need to make it black. So I made it black right there by pressing X. Then what I'm going to do is make my brush a little bit bigger. And all I'm going to do is color Dylan. Bring her in just like that. Just like that. Bring her and make sure you get all of. And it's okay because the mask is only masking out the top layer. The bottom layer is still there, so you don't have to worry about going over the edges of like her legs here or her arms, because you have that duplicate layer at the bottom, the original layer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, so I think that's good, and then I'm going to make my opacity 100% again, and it brings her right in. So now what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to have her feet disappear because I want to make it seem as if she is right in front of the edge, and the edge is, you see that line that's there? Make it seem like she's right in front of the edge. In order to do that, to bring it back in the top layer, I have to make my brush white. So I'm gonna make it white. I'm gonna zoom in, and then my focus is right here. So B for brush, and then we'll do that right there. Then we'll color that in. Just like that. So now it seems as if she's standing in front of where the hill is starting to descend. Hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna just like that. And you know what? I think I'm gonna make her a little bit smaller. I might want her just to be a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna press my layer, Command T. I'm just gonna make her smaller. I don't know why I'll make her smaller, but I just think that she should be smaller. Right. Let me back out, see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's good there. So now you see I have to make the adjustments. So in order to bring her back in, I'm gonna have to make my brush black, take off the artifacts of the top layer, the copy layer, and bring her back in just like that. Just like that. Like there's a small part at the bottom here that I need to bring back in. So I'll do that. And then this part I need to just take out. Boom, just like that. So now that we have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the layer. I'm going to select the color balance, or I can pick it here, go here and go to color balance. And I want my color balance to go over the layer, as you can see here. So there's this thing called the clipping mask. And what you do is you hold down Option and then you press the color balance layer, and you have this arrow here. And what it's telling you is that whatever changes you make in your color balance, it will only affect this layer, not even the layer behind it, under it, but it will only affect this layer. So I'm just going to take the mid-tones here, and I'm just going to bring it over and make it blue some, so that she can blend right in there. I'd probably go 5. Let me see. Let's go 4. I think that looks great. So before, after. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see before, after. Before, you see right there on her arms, it looked like it's a little blue. So it makes it seem like she's right out there. So, but we're gonna do some more things to really blend in the digital background and the layer and Dylan. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select the top layer, and I am going to get the action. All right, so we're going to go to the our actions here. We're going to go to the KC lens filter, and then we're going to click on KCC light tricks. So let me show you what it's done. It's kind of blended her in a little bit better. See that? Just like that. And it's subtle changes. I love it. Just like that. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to do here, we're going to go to our lens filter, and then we're going to select 3 things here. We're going to select warm light, we're going to select hazelnut and spring tulips. I'm getting old, man. My memory is, because it's been years since I've done this, but we'll do one by one. But the first one that we'll do is, let's do warm light. Okay, see that? It just makes a difference. It just makes see that there, it just makes a big difference. Okay, and then let's bring that down to about 49% or 50%. And let's take that. I think that looks great. Okay, the next one that we're gonna do is hazelnut. And when I select it there, that also gives it some light there and some color. It's a little bit too much, so I'm gonna bring that down also. And the last thing that we're gonna do is spring tulip. Spring tulip also gives you a color there. I'm gonna toggle off and on. That's nice. And then I'll select it, and then we'll bring that down to about 40-something%. And the thing that I like about it is, if there was some that you were trying to take off your subject, then what you can do is create a mask on the entire folder, and then select your brush. Let's make it 30%. And then we'll, since our mask is white, let's go ahead and change our brush to black. What I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna create a time visible stamp. Hope I'm saying it right. But on a Mac, it's Shift Option Command E. And that creates everything that you have in the layers here. It creates a duplicate layer of everything that you have under here. So there are some actions that you're gonna have to run a time visible stamp layer, only because it will not run if you have another action there. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna go to KCC Bokeh Lovers 2. And I'm gonna click on KCC Bokeh 1.0. We're gonna let that run. And as you can see here, I'm gonna zoom in that is bokeh. So let's close this bokeh here. And what I wanna do is kind of you'll bring down the opacity if it's a little bit too much, but I think that's great right there. So whatever number it's at right now, I believe it's 55, whatever number it's at right now. But if you notice here, there's a mask, okay? There's a white mask. So I'm gonna select my brush. Sorry about that. I'm gonna select my brush, and I'm gonna select this mask here. So I have my brush at 100%, and I have my flow at 100%. And so all I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna take the bokeh off my subject. I'm just gonna focus on just her body there. So if I have to make my brush smaller, then I will, just so that you can get this optical illusion. And I'm gonna zoom in so you can see that there. But how did I know that the focal plane was there? How did I know? And I'll tell you in just a second. I knew the focal plane was there because of this line that's right here. Let me switch to the move tool. This line that's right here, that's the focal plane right there. And so what I'm gonna do, it doesn't look like it's in focus now because the bokeh is there. So I'm gonna take my brush, and I'm just gonna run it. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna select my mask, white mask, make sure my brush is black, and I'm just gonna run this along, and I'll start over. I'm gonna zoom a little bit, and I'm just gonna run this along the focal plane. I hope you can see that. That's the focal plane right there. And I went a little bit too far, so I'm going to switch my brush to white, and I'm gonna just bring this back in. And boom, there you have it. Bokeh, but my subject is in focus right there. What I'm going to do is create another timestamp visible layer right there. And then let me add the matte. So the matte is added here. I'm gonna just take it off. I love mattes, and it just adds a little bit. So I'm gonna bring this down. And all I'm doing is that as I'm bringing down the opacity, I'm looking at the subject to see how it looks on her. So I think that's good. That's good right there. And the last thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to my adjustment layer and go to my levels. And I just want to give this a little bit more contrast. So I'm going to select this lever in the middle, give it a little more contrast. And there it looks like there. I'm gonna take a little off. Boom. And there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos, subscribe to my page. Click on that notification bell and don't forget to leave a comment.